All right. Good morning, City of Lakes Rotary. Good to see you all here. Good to see you all online. It's a great day to be a Minnesotan, driving to our wonderful junior achievement here in St. Paul, and welcome to those of you who are at home. Let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And the four-way test and the things we think, say, and do. One, is it the truth? Two, is it fair to all concerned? Three, will it build goodwill and better friendships? Four, will it be beneficial to all concerned? All right. Our reflection today, Claire Burkett has the reflection. Claire.
Hi. All right, so I'm going to read a poem called Winter's End, partly in hope and partly after our big snowstorm, looking forward to the end of winter. It's by a poet named Kay. I don't have a last name. Winter's end. Wake me up when spring has sprung, when the cold is gone and skies no longer gray. Rouse me with the cries of birds, a warm wind blown my way, a green light in the shade. Dress me in blooming buds, let butterflies be my lips, and raindrops as my eyes. Replace my heart with a shining star and fill my head with a soft white cloud. Drip the shine of morning in my veins, and I'll have the fresh green grass for my hair. Take my bones for branches, make my tears have honeysuckle taste. My breath would be the pollen sifting through the air. Take me from my sleeping ground and lay me in the fresh cold stream. Wake me up when spring is sprung, but until then, I'm going to sleep.
Thank you, Claire. All right, we don't have a song today. So the next item on our agenda is introducing guests and visiting Rotarians. And we don't have any visiting Rotarians or guests in the room. Brock, do we have any online?
The only person I'm seeing is Luciano, who has actually put in his application. I don't know if it's been approved by the board yet, but I see Luciano. I don't see any other guests.
It was approved 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago.
Oh, fantastic.
Perfect. Welcome, Luciano. Good to see you. I liked your screensaver on there with the old-fashioned TV and your face in the TV. That was a great screensaver. All right. Well, good to have you with us this morning. Are there any announcements this morning? Anyone online have an announcement? This is the rare circumstance where I got nobody saying they had to make an announcement today. All right, Anna, I know that we are, John has an announcement.
I want everybody to know that Bill Jackson is in Honduras working on the project at Milatrace. Climbed the mountain yesterday and he showed us a view from the big reservoir tank that they have built, and he'll be there for 10 days.
Oh, great. Yes, I would love to see more pictures of that and see where our money has gone. So that's great that Bill is there. Anna, we're reading a new book too. You might want to mention what we're reading, and if you recall, I can't remember the title. What book are we reading for book club?
I remember it was secondhand, but there was another word to it.
Yes, secondhand
Times.
There we go. I think that's right.
Yes. So it was actually Bob Minich who recommended this book. He has started reading it already, and we'll have discussion in April 12th, I believe. I bought the book. I downloaded the book. I have the Russian version, and Mom and my sister will be reading with me too. So should be fun. And it's about Soviet times. Through a variety of stories that a journalist born in Ukraine but living in Belarus is writing a collection of stories that she collected throughout the years. And it's a collection of books, and we're reading the last one, the number 5. And she was awarded Nobel Prize in Literature in 2015. So
And as I said, well, you're reading it in Russian. We'll try to read it in English and.
the discussion will be in English.
Okay, good. We'll
Less
have the discussion.
stressful. But I do have another announcement that March 12th, I believe, there's several of us who will be going to see your performance, Scott.
Oh, good. Yes,
So there'll
yes.
be some Rotarians in the audience.
Perfect. Yes, March 12th, Gilbert and Sullivan's Ruddigore. And you can come anytime between the 10th and April 4th, I think is our last performance, every weekend from April 10th on. But on the 12th, we're going to have a group going from Rotary. So come see it. It's a great show. It'll be fun. And hopefully we won't get closed down this year as we were 2 years ago for COVID. So very good. Any other announcements? Anyone online have an announcement today? All right. Well, I'm going to see, maybe we can take some time to have some conversation in rooms online, and I'll see if our speakers are ready to go, and we'll have a little conversation in here as well. Brock, do you want to do breakout rooms, or how do you want to do that? Perfect. So online, we'll send you to breakout rooms. Here, we'll have a little conversation, and we'll check on our speakers. Thanks. All right. I think we are coming back, or we're almost all back here. We're still kind of talking here in the room, so. All right, our day chair today is Jonathan Hobbs. John joined the Minneapolis City of Lakes Rotary Club, the greatest Rotary Club in the world, in June of 2010. And John is the chair of the Vocational Service Committee this year, and he's going to co-chair it with Andrew Hoffman next year. He has been involved with vocational services for several years, working with junior achievement. In the last year, he has enjoyed organizing a Saturday food packing event at every meal, another one hopefully in early April, and participating in a couple of food packing events at CES, attending the monthly peer group meetings to learn about fascinating management and leadership topics, and working with junior achievement to develop the all-girls JA LaunchU cohort, which we'll be hearing more about today from JA. John is a CPA and an attorney and works in RSM's international tax practice in Minneapolis. He advises U.S. and foreign middle market companies with cross-border activities on international tax matters, including tax planning, structuring, and reporting. John, thank you for being our day chair today.
Fantastic. Can you hear me okay?
You sure can.
I always start on Zoom with that question. Well, hey, everyone, I'm glad you could join this morning. I'm sorry I can't be there in person. I'm excited about this event because we really had an opportunity last summer to, Joyce Agnew approached us with a great idea of getting young girls, middle school, high school age girls involved in learning about entrepreneurship, starting their own business. And we had some established relationships from our previous work with JA, and we approached them and kind of asked them if there was an existing program in place to maybe accommodate this, to build on it, so we're not starting from scratch. And as Sam Keys, who I'll introduce, will tell you, he'll tell you a little bit about what that process looked like. And since then, they also have brought on an entrepreneur in residence, I believe is the right title, who I'll also introduce, who's going to be working with these ladies over several weeks. And today is an opportunity for us to learn a little bit more about what they're going to be doing. As I said in the chat, at least, I think they're going to be starting in early March. So I'll have Sam and Nikki tell us more about that, but let me introduce them real quick and then I'll stop talking. So Nikki Franz, I hope I got the last name right. Nikki Franz is going to be the entrepreneur in residence this year. A little bit about her. She's the founder of Rebel Harmony, a life coaching and consulting practice that provides tools to empower people to live their best lives. And she's also a community and spiritual leader at Solomon's Porch in Minneapolis. Sam Keys is a relationship manager at JA North, where he works with businesses and organizations to find ways that they can support and volunteer in junior achievements student programs. So maybe I'll stop there, Sam or Nikki. I can't see in the room there, but maybe I'll have you take it from there. Hello, Sam.
Good to see you again, and sorry we couldn't see you in person today, but I want to say first off here, we've got Nikki coming in the building, slowed up by weather a little bit. I know that travel for those who came in person, snowy roads was definitely a excited to have the messy weather yesterday rather than this morning. So thankful that everyone here today was able to still join us. But Nikki will be joining us in a little bit, and I have one of my other coworkers, Sonia, who also works the program, and so she'll be able to speak on a lot of these pieces as well. And so I want to start off first by saying thank you to everyone for having the space for us to introduce our program here, to be able to pitch these volunteer opportunities to all of you as volunteer opportunities yet for the remainder of the spring. We'll be able to speak about the program, generally speaking. We'll be able to speak about the cohort specifically, and we'll also be able to speak about the volunteer opportunities where you'll be able to be a part of it and support the 13 girls who are in the female founders cohort of LaunchU. And so I'll just say here, and I see Nikki coming in a moment here, but want to say thank you again to Joyce for her excitement and her commitment to this work, to John and Carol as well for being such helpful stewards of the process of being able to work with us on this opportunity, and also for inviting us into, some of you may have already heard from me and one of my colleagues, Suzanne, at the October Rotary meeting at the Women's Club. And that was a great opportunity to be able to see the space, meet so many of the folks, and make an initial pitch for this program. But now we're finally into it, as John alluded to. We're in the mix with the LaunchU cohorts, and so program's underway, and we'll have we can talk more about it. But it's this build up of a program where this cohort of students, 13 in our case for the female founders group, but we have 2 other cohorts as well, and each one of them, they start from a square zero of what does it mean to start a business. And then they work through a sequential program all the way to the end of the spring. Our last dates are in May, where they have completed a business, they've developed a business working in teams, and they have either decided to continue that small business as young people, business owners, or to liquidate. And so very much a real life business program where they're learning the skill sets of what it means to be an entrepreneur, where they're learning the skill sets of what it means to do finances. And so I'll be able to introduce Nikki in a moment here, but I want to say as well that we've got some slides here, and there we go. Brock's already pulled them up, and so we'll be able to run through the slides, and then at the end we should have some time for just a loose Q&A. I don't know if we'll be able to popcorn easily between the Zoom or in the room here, but definitely some time for that as well. And so, yeah, ready to roll here. Nikki and Sonia, are we good on that end? Sonia, do you want first word, and then we can cue in Nikki? Awesome. Well, so I didn't know Sonia would be joining us today, but I want to take a sec to introduce Sonia as well. She's one of our colleagues on the programs team. I'll let her tell more about her role and what she does in the LaunchU program, and then I'll let her kick off the slides and hand it off to Nikki. I'll be on the side as well, but them two from here.
Thank you, Sam. Hi, all. I'm Sonia Yermishkin. I am the Metro Program Manager here at JA North, which means that I am working with our JA LaunchU program and with our lovely entrepreneurs and residents like Nikki to really just get the program going and help our students start their journeys to building their businesses. So I am going to hand it over to Nikki, our lovely entrepreneur and residence of the Female Founders cohort, and she will share a little bit about the program and what they've been working on. Thanks.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Sonia. Good morning, everyone. Happy, what day is it? Wednesday. Good morning here in person as well as online. Good morning. Thank you for being with us today. Oh man, fun. I know, it's true. It's Saturday somewhere, right? Yeah. Yes, so welcome here to this wonderful space. Very excited to be here with you all today and tell you a little more about our amazing entrepreneurs and kind of things that they're up to and the things that are being concocted and basically how you all and your time and your resources help to make that happen. So that's what our time is here today. Thank you, Sam, for the wonderful introduction. I'm sure it was wonderful as I was navigating the roads to get here and be safe and all the things, as you know. So JA LaunchU, it's an after-school program where it helps to work with our high school students, as well as we do some middle school to a certain, maybe ninth grade or so. Helps to give them entrepreneur skills, entrepreneur and intrapreneur. So in that, if they want to start their own business, or if they want to work within an organization and how to think creatively and solve problems and get resources and be able to function in this innovative way that is really, really, really important, as you all know, in our world today. So with me working with our entrepreneurs, very intentional and entrepreneurs, highlighting both those things of, hey, if you want to start a business, wonderful. If you don't want to start a business, wonderful. But very intentional on everyone needs those skills of knowing how to market yourself, how to understand what skills you bring to the team, and how to collaboratively work together to solve problems and make this world a better place. So that's basically the skills that we're learning each and every week and doing it in an interactive way. It's not kind of a death by PowerPoint or me talking for an hour and a half. It's more of, okay, let's solve some problems here and really just empowering our students to, rise up and go and do great things. So I don't know what's on the slide here. Okay, so overview of the program. I don't want in any way to insult your intelligence or waste your time in that you see slides. I'm not going to read these slides verbatim. I know, right? I know. I apologize if that's what you were expecting. I hate to disappoint. So I'm just going to kind of highlight, because these slides are also going to be available to you in case you want to read verbatim and the details of the minutia. The point of me being here, a part of this conversation, I know I have to stay still. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Is to help to kind of highlight details that you can't get on the slides and help to paint the picture of what you all are investing in your time, your resources, and your energy. It's into the future of this community. So, okay. So with that, one of the biggest things that we do, particularly at our female founders cohort, is we do kind of a brief check-in because we're building a community. Although yes, some may see, hey, these folks ultimately may or may not be competitors. And how can we collaboratively work together to build a stronger Twin Cities entrepreneur community, to build a stronger workforce, particularly, and corporate community? So both things are true. So some of the things we do is getting to know one another and checking in and how are you doing? Because that plays a huge role in how we work together and how we create and how we be. And then we go into, we have many set lessons from junior achievement of here are the skills, right? Here are the skills to build a business. Here's the skills to work as an entrepreneur within corporations and organizations. Here's some things to know about and think about. And then we go into, okay, great. So what does that mean to you? It's one thing for me to give all this information and for JA to give this information to folks. It's quite another of like, okay, so now what? What do we do with this? Maybe it's working with the organization you're starting. Maybe it's working collaboratively with other students of helping to build their organization, and also connecting this to ways that they function in school. of maybe it's clubs and organizations that they're working with in school, as well as prepared to, for those that are going to college, thinking of, okay, how do these skills apply to that? Because it's all connected. It's not isolated. So we check in, we learn skills of entrepreneurship, and honestly, just life and personal skills of they can take. Also, and then from there, it's like, okay, now let's integrate it. Let's implement it in a way that means something and matters to the work that you're doing and what you're called to do. So the first part is, here's the skills, like this is a business, this is a sales lead, we have 5 main roles to where how you can be a part of a business. Maybe you're in sales, maybe you're in marketing, maybe you're in finance, because these are important to run an organization. And then we go into, okay, what speaks to you? And let's talk about what are some skills that you have? Because, everybody's not made to fit do everything sometimes, but also the piece of it too, for those that want to be solo entrepreneurs, guess what? If you want to do it by yourself, no one's gonna market for you unless you contract that out. So that's the key of looking and solving these problems and being very intentional with these business owners of, listen, you have a key as the CEO of your organization. If you don't do it or you don't arrange it, it's not gonna happen. So it's it's very much critical thinking skills as well of like, you need to solve these problems. Here, I have some suggestions, but the bottom line is you are the CEO. What do you want to do? And that's amazing and different in many ways, particularly with our younger folk. Many times they're kind of everything's really structured and everything's like, okay, you do this and then you do this and you do this. And as you know, with working in entrepreneurship and intrapreneurship, not so much, so JA provides a loose structure of, here's some best practices, here are some things to consider. And the bottom line is, it's up to you to be infused by that magic and implement it. So these are the students' ideas. These are the students' ways of organizing, moving forward. So the last piece of it too is towards the end of our time, particularly working. So usually this is like a school year program starting in September. We've condensed it. We started in January. So we're on a sprint, my friends. And so with that sprint, going into, okay, what organization you want to work with, what business you want to run, what skills you have, what skills you need, your supply chain, all these details is what we're working through. And also with ultimately getting to the beginning of May. So in May, we have a conversation. And actually, that's one of the invitations that I invite your organization to. At one of our last cohort meetings is we have the conversation of, particularly around our CEOs, of liquidating the company. In that, you've done this wonderful work. This is your ideas and intellectual property. What do you want to do now? Of options of liquidation, options of, hey, you want to keep this going? That's wonderful and great. And so we have that conversation, and that's actually one of the invitations I have for your group of being present there. So, okay, next slide. Anything, I know I'm going through a lot. Anything, comments, questions, anything like that before we move forward? So I was on Zoom. I don't know if we could see chats or anything like that. I've never done this before. So this is the school. So here I'm going to pass it on to my colleague here, Sonia, and she'll explain a little more of how we get the students. So thank you.
Yes, I'm just going to quick hop in here to supplement Nikki's awesome presentation. Just wanted to speak a little bit to the students that we have involved specifically in the female founders cohort. So you can see there are a lot of St. Paul schools that our students are coming from. This year in particular, we did do outreach to our St. Paul schools since they are in such close proximity to the building. And ultimately, we were hoping and are still hoping to have some in-person events available for our students. So you can see we have Como Park, Harding, all of the St. Paul schools here, as well as any Edina schools. So we do have students in the other cohorts, even from Forest Lake, and then all the way down to Lakeville. So all over the metro area. But we really were trying to be intentional in our outreach to students to try and reach students that maybe have not had the chance to have this program in their classroom during the school year. And so for this after school program, we wanted to really provide those resources for students to get involved, making sure that we offered Chromebooks for students who maybe needed a laptop, currently working on getting some mobile hotspots for students who maybe don't have Wi-Fi access. So definitely a really good start with the students that we have this year. They're an amazing group. And we're hoping to expand our outreach even further next year. So that's just my little side about our students this year. I'm going to hand it back to Nikki.
Thank you, Sonia. Another piece of this I haven't really highlighted yet of the importance of a female founder cohort, of of building skills of women working together and working collaboratively to build something better, to continue to infuse our entrepreneurial and entrepreneurial community, to look at each other as how can we work together. And of course, being aware that, the bottom line is, to not only do great things, but also make profit. That is a piece of it. And so doing that in a way that it doesn't have to be toxic. And I think that's what makes this particular cohort special, of teaching these women that we don't have to be nasty to each other. We can work together. We can collaborate. And we are doing the best we can. And another piece of this is we have not met in person yet. So we have got to know each other on a Zoom screen. We have bounced ideas off of each other. And it's a beautiful thing. It's not often that we see this kind of environment of looking at, hey, sister, I'm going to lift you up. You're going to lift me up. And let's go do great things for our community. And, let's make sure that not only the things that we're creating is not only meaningful and impactful for the community that we serve, and that we're able to make a living, but we're generating more jobs and opportunities for others. So that is just the special kind of magic to be able to have a female cohort. To also invite people to have that particular vulnerability, because it's different. It's different in mixed company than compared to just all women. Hey, how do we do this? And how do we juggle the many things that we have to juggle? Not saying men don't have to juggle it, but it's different. So, and also, the piece of this too, of inclusivity, of honoring folks where they are, of being very intentional on how do you want to be addressed? How do you want to be addressed with your name? How do you want to be addressed with, which pronouns are meaningful for you? And so that piece is not, is a vital piece of how to just honor folks and how to set them up and look at them and see them as their best selves. So that's the special magic that you all have invested in. And that says a lot about your organization. So I've been watching y'all, I'm just saying. I'm just saying, like, just saying. Okay, next slide, please. I mean, not like in a, Yes, yeah.
John asked, was there an application process that the student has been, how were they?
Thank you. Thank you for that.
Yes, so students did have to submit an application to JA to be a part of the program. And on there, they really indicated that they were a high school student. First of all, you'd be surprised of how many kids in college, how many students in college actually want to continue in JA LaunchU or join. And so they do have to submit an application, and then we review, and then really it's the students who come back and they fill out all of their forms telling us what they're interested in. making sure that they're getting, their parent consent form back. Those are the students who complete all of that you can tell you're like, all right, they're ready to go because they're already getting all of this, silly stuff done. And so that is really how students are selected. We have really kept it very open and broad this year to, again, try and expand the students that we reach. And so while there is an application process, we try really hard to make sure that every student who applies and has that ambition to start their business has the chance to do so. I hope that answers that question.
Thank you. So ways you can get involved, right? The moment we're here, the reason why we're here literally in this space, the reason why I'm here this morning to talk to you. Let's talk about that. So working with junior achievement, as well as working with the student entrepreneurs of saying, okay, we have such a wonderful organization that is eager to get involved and to, how do we work together? How do we do this? What do we need to do? And asking them, what is helpful? What matters? It's one thing to just do something. It's quite another to work collaboratively and saying, what would be helpful right now? So here's some things to be helpful. So the one thing is, so we have 3 dates kind of earmarked of where we invite maybe triads of 3 of you all, whoever feels eager and willing. The first date is possibly in person, as you know, in COVID life, we don't know. So the first day, just to be totally transparent with you, each month, all 3 of our cohorts, the female cohort, the general cohort, and the Black cohort, we all meet together. And like I said before, we've all been on Zoom since January. So we might be in person. So in the event we are or not, we invite a triad of 3 of you all to come and join us. Come and join us to be a part of a Q&A from the entrepreneurs to ask in the Twin Cities business community questions and to be able to connect. As well as also the invitation on that particular day is we'll have breakout rooms, either breakout rooms in person or online, of go and check out and see how you can support the folks working on their companies. Maybe it's, hey, have you thought of this? Or, hey, what you got going on? One of the biggest things that I like to do with my female founders is to really get them used to saying their pitch. Of like, no, you need to get to know this intimately, like on the dime. Be like, okay, what are you doing and why should I care? and so literally, like if you're in the elevator, being able to, okay, what are you doing and why does it matter to me? So you could easily be like, hey, so what are you doing and why does it matter? You could do that. And with that, and what that is that's helping to get them more confident in what they're doing, as well as be able to, any opportunity that may or may not come their way, being able to say, this is what I'm doing, here's how it matters, and here's how you can get involved. So here's how you can get involved. March, we have an all cohort. You all can be a part of that. If that is something you want to do, of course, reach out to Sam. April 18th is going to be a virtual on Zoom. This particular theme and topic is how to stay motivated. It's one thing when we kind of first start with our businesses or first start with a company and a job and our role of we're super excited, and yet kind of running the race metaphorically for a while, we're like, okay, how do I stay motivated? So having another triad, maybe the same triad. Ideally, we'd like the different triad since there's so many of you all here, a different triad to come on and talk about how to stay motivated. Particularly with these triad, we ask for someone that is an entrepreneur, as well as someone that is an entrepreneur, as well as maybe someone that's retired. That would be amazing, actually. So we have the trinity of the business community. Because, many times we think retirement is so far away. And it's something that we should think about what we're working toward now too. Like, well, what do we need to be thinking about now to ultimately 20, 30 years from now be able to still live our best lives? So April 18th. The third one is May 2nd, which I talked about earlier. May 2nd, that is going to be liquidation of businesses. And particularly, here's what I want to focus on is how to leave well. Many times, particularly in our more corporate and entrepreneur space, we don't really talk about how to leave well and how to transition and what does transition look like and how do we not metaphorically burn everything down because we don't want to be there anymore. So it's like more of let's talk about that. So that's more the entrepreneur space. The entrepreneur space is okay, coming to a point of okay, am I going to continue on with what we're doing, or if not, let's transition well. So would love, again, another triad of entrepreneur, intrapreneur, and maybe someone that is retired to talk about that. And so the format would be a Q&A, a general Q&A that would start maybe 6:20 or so. But before that, we'd like kind of an introduction of you, kind of who are you? Who are you? What work are you into? And why do you want to volunteer for this cohort? And so what that is that's building equity within the entrepreneurs. Like, okay, you're here because you want to be. That's great. Let me hear more. Building that trust. So that's the first kind of part to get involved is in a direct way. In that way. The second way was this idea that was kind of birthed from Sonia and I talking on Friday is these women deal with so much of being in high school during COVID, having to totally adapt their lives online, loneliness of that, as well as, hey, I want to start a business to do good and solve a problem and want to make income doing it. So with that, I think one of the amazing ways that you all, as the Rotary, an intentional organization of service, could be of service to this cohort is by inviting you to create maybe 30-second to maybe 30-second videos of each one of you, whoever feels compelled. And in this video, give kind of words of affirmation and encouragement to these women. Of like, for example, I guess I'm more looking at, listen, I know things may be hard and challenging at this time, but here's why what you're doing matters. And here's why I'm appreciative that you are here and you are doing this. So being intentional of creating kind of little snippet videos, and those videos can be edited into one video that these women can take with them of wherever they do next. If they're continuing their business, if they're working in a company, if they're not doing any of that, when things get really hard, having this memento of, I was here at JA and the City of Lakes Rotary gave a darn about me to talk to me directly. And so I think that is going to be so impactful to them. And so I invite you to do that. And maybe we can work on kind of the logistics, working with Sam of getting to maybe sending those videos to him and they can be compiled. And also, of course, you could have the compiled video too. So I'm just saying marketing. I'm just saying marketing. So that's the second way to get involved. So before I talk about businesses, I want to pause. Is there any questions or thoughts?
We have about 10 minutes. With the businesses, 5 minutes, and then Q&A for 5 minutes.
Oh, Q&A. Oh, good to know. Oh, you want me to talk? Okay. Businesses. Okay. So businesses that we have kind of up and like foreshore moving forward now. As of right now, we have 3 foreshore businesses. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4 possible businesses. So what I'll do is I'll say kind of their industry, and I'll say the business names. So the first business we have Kiko's Books. Kiko's Books is children's books that are being created, children's workbooks for younger kids, children's workbooks about learning, about growing. As you know, these are businesses that are just getting started. These are just going from ideas to, okay, I got to choose a name. So that's where we are. So unfortunately, we don't have websites and stuff yet. Stay tuned on that. So Kiko's Books, basically the entrepreneur here, she thought about her brother, her baby brother that's 2 or 3 years old, and thinking of what are some books that I can create for him and younger kids like him, that where they can learn and become confident, and with these workbooks to help to be prepared as they transition to school. So some of the things, with the workbooks of looking at creativity, as well as, kind of looking at basic learning and arithmetic skills. And so that is what Kiko's Books is going to be about. So the next thing we have is Potpourri. Potpourri is going to be online clothing, particularly with hoodies. So the entrepreneur Pawpaw here, she is an artist. And so by creating, she wants to hand draw the art that goes on these hoodies. And the intention is around not only just for warmth, and not only just, the functionality of it all, but the inspirational artistic message that will be on the hoodies of, and so being able to hand draw and personally give those. She's been drawing some sketches and some of that. And so the next thing is kind of looking at a supply chain, looking at working with a clothing company to where putting those images onto the hoodies. So that's where we are on that one. The third business is Botticelli Swimwear. So this is LED. Swimwear, it's about functional swimwear for women that is cute and covered. Particularly, I know, I was like, okay, particularly around women that are more curvy, being intentional of cute and functional swimwear. So with her, it's working and looking at finding a new designer of creating this swimwear, looking at materials, drawing up mock-ups, or working with someone to draw up those mock-ups. So that is LOD. So the 4 potential businesses, or 3. So we have Ajara and Ashley. They want to create motivational stickers. And these stickers, particularly around empowerment of the BIPOC community. And these stickers are frogs, sunshines, diverse of people that are on these stickers. And stickers, as many of us know, don't go anywhere. They can go on laptops and water things and all the things. So I told them, I was like, come on, y'all, your stickers, this would be great. And they're looking at collaborating together, either 2 separate businesses or one business working alongside one another. And then we have Kiki Kiara, looking at working in the fashion industry around creating clothing. And with this type of clothing of looking at what is meaningful and empowering to many communities. And then last but not least, we have Angelina. Angelina is quite resourceful entrepreneur of looking at possibly starting a vending machine business of, knowing particularly, people are hungry. And so, before it's maybe kind of running around in backpacks and selling snacks, but what can it look like if more in establishments of having snacks that help with hunger and working in the form of vending machines. So those are our businesses. And so with that, I'm going to turn it over to, do you want to do the Q&A? Okay. Oh, okay. Ooh. Ah! Oh. Here we go.
And I can keep it moving here real quick. And I just want to say thank you again for everyone for making some space here to sort of pitch the program, share more about the students specifically. I wanted to say real quick to really emphasize all of the great points that Nikki made. This program is, I don't think I'm quite centered. There we go. This program is very student driven insofar as we're really listening to what's important to them. We're really listening to what they're interested to create and then kind of driving from there. And so as with the volunteer experiences, there's those 3 dates. We'll make sure to send those out to you of March 7th, April 18th, I think it was, and May 2nd. Those are real kind of flashpoint dates, inflection points from which the program kind of dives into new content. And then from there, the videos will be a big piece. We'll also have opportunities, as said on the slide, of kind of to that point of with the students as they're deciding what is important to them and what they're interested in learning more about. Perhaps some of them really, with their online business, they have a lot to learn there, whereas someone who's producing clothes and selling in person does not have an online presence. And so we'll make sure that with that piece, we're reaching out to folks who have those specific skill sets. So I'll say to the starting point and email me, my email's on the slide, sam.keys@JA-North, and I'll be able to reach out soon, kind of building that list here. Wanted to get that there. Pass it to Scott. Did you have some last closing remarks here? And we can do Q&A, kind of email me questions, or we can discuss in person here. I know we're coming up on the deadline of our time.
All right. Hey, let's have a hand here for Sam, Sonia, and Nikki. Thank you so much. Joyce, see what you do with your dollars and Rotary Foundation. What a great program that you all supported and got started here. Thank you so much. I always say JA could be Joyce Agnew and Junior Achievement. So thank you for that donation and for starting this wonderful program. We really do appreciate it. Clara Burkett, thank you for the reflection today. Jonathan Hobbs, thank you for being day chair. Ross and Brock, thank you so much for bringing your expertise here to JA and allowing us to have this on Zoom as well. With that, you all have a wonderful Rotary week. Thank you very much.